Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, today from McFarlane Toys. In their DC Multiverse line, we are featuring Steel, aka John Henry Irons, as he appears in the Reign of Supermen. Okay, so this was an action figure that I was really excited for. It kind of comes from my era of comic books. The Reign of the Supermen was kind of like post Doomsday after Superman was killed. Metropolis was in need of Superman, and a handful of characters took up the namesake, and Steel was one of them. This was a character that debuted alongside the likes of Connor Kent, aka Superboy, the Eradicator, and Cyborg Superman. On the back of the box, we have John Henry Irons clad in his Steel outfit, and it looks great. A very striking, beautiful image. And this really surmises the look of the character. It looks awesome. The figure itself, very impressive. The one thing I do have issue with is that the post of his hammer looks to be warped and bent pretty bad. Hopefully, I'll be able to straighten it out. I don't want my Steel looking, for lack of a better term, a little limp. It's a great looking costume. When I envision Steel in my head, it really kind of resembles this dude right here. So let's get started. Okay, so as usual, we have the display base and also the trading card, so don't accidentally throw those out. And we have Steel, one of the many Supermen characters. He was created by writer Luis Wheezy Simonson and artist John Bogdanov. And it looks great. He looks surprisingly really tall, which I think is appropriate for the character. Unfortunately, my hammer is really bent and warped. Now, this is the one thing that kind of bothered me, is that even if it was straight, I kind of feel like if you had this figure on display, that eventually over time, the weight of the mallet on top would probably force the post to bend anyways, just due to the sheer weight of it. I just say that from experience. I've had other action figures where the accessories, especially the weapons, they might be too top heavy, and then they would end up this like warping and bending due to gravity. You can easily remedy this by submerging it in hot water, and then once the plastic is soft enough, you can kind of like straighten it out and then run it under cold water, just to kind of like lock it in place. Again, it's just kind of disappointing that for a guy who's called Steel, his weapon is just, kind of limp and bent. Okay, let's take a look at Steel up close. I'm noticing that my character, I don't know what it is, but it looks like the paint, there's some light blue paint on parts of him, and I don't know if that's the color of the plastic underneath. Yeah, you can kind of see right there. There's little hints of blue. So I kind of feel like maybe that's the natural color of the plastic and the silver and gray is like scuffing off. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I'll leave a comment down below if your figure has some of these little kind of like light blue markings. And what is that? Is that the natural color of the plastic? Alright, so my first impression of this figure is that it feels tall, which is appropriate to the character, especially considering that Shaquille O'Neal plays live action Steel. Let's pull out another figure for size comparison. Yeah, so this is one of the earlier McFarlane figures. This is the McFarlane design Batman. It's one of the taller figures, especially in regards to the Batman character. And it looks like Steel is actually taller than him, which is nice. Here's a Marvel Legends, which is completely dwarfed by this guy over here. So yeah, in terms of the height, it seems like they got the character's height, spot on. The head looks pretty cool. There's kind of like an imperfection above his lip right there. Again, it looks like either the paint's chipped off or that just might be the quality of the plastic. It's not noticeable from a distance, but when you look up close, it kind of looks like he has a cold sore or herpes or something. I do like the emblem. It's done really well. There's a nice texture to it. It's a weird texture. It almost looks like a fingerprint. Unless that's supposed to kind of like resemble more like concrete. Yeah, again, here's some of that blue I was talking about. Again, I'm not sure if that's the natural color of the plastic and the silver is just scuffing off. But I don't think, for me, it doesn't take away from the enjoyment of the figure. This is a character I was looking forward to for a long time. And it looks fantastic. The cape, it's not too thick, but at the same time, I kind of wish it was a little bit thinner. It doesn't feel like it's going to weigh down the figure too much, and it's attached to the figure in the back, right there. Clean details. I like the sculpting on the gauntlet right here. Kind of looks like pistons. It's an asymmetrical design, so he only has that on his left arm. I kind of feel like they could have done the legs and arms better, because the rest of him looks like, he's covered in all these metal plating. But then it kind of almost feels like these legs, maybe they're reused from another figure. Same with the arms up here. In terms of the articulation, his head swivels. Does he look down? Yes. Does he look up? Pretty good, which is considering he is a flyer, so you can kind of tilt his head upward to recreate flying poses. And his arms, they do collide with the shoulder pieces when they go up. So it's a little bit cumbersome. It feels a little bit clumsy. I kind of feel like they could have done a cleaner job attaching the cape to the emblem up here. He does have a cut mid-torso, so you have a little bit of tilt movement. Arch back. It does swivel at the waist. Mine's a little tight, though. Legs do kick up, but they feel kind of stiff on my figure. I don't want to force it. And it kind of feels like the way his briefs are cut, that it doesn't allow for like full upward movement. His legs do kick outward to the side. Again, it seems like it's restricted by his briefs. Double pinned knees, and they're ratcheted, articulated toes and ankles. So overall, it's a great figure. It's not perfect. It feels a little bit flawed in some areas. But I'm not going to complain all that much just because this is a character I've been wanting for such a long time. Steel, even though he's had multiple action figures across different brands and lines, I always kind of felt like he could still get more. And this disappoints me. I don't know. Part of me is kind of contemplating this, cutting off the post altogether and just taking like a copper or steel rod of the right diameter and just using that instead, and just maybe repainting it. But it's a nice piece. I'm glad that we got him. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get More Supermen. We did get the Eradicator, which I believe was a gold label figure, which for me, I've never seen it. It's hard to come by. I don't know if it was an exclusive. We did get a Superboy already. Did we get Cyborg Superman? I'm not sure yet. We might have. I can't remember all the McFarlane figures. But yeah, I think for the most part, we've gotten, I think, almost all the Supermen from Reign of the Supermen. So yeah, fantastic standout piece. If you're a fan of Superman, I don't think you'll be disappointed. Again, there's some minor flaws, but you can easily look past that. And this is awesome to finally have a McFarlane Steel figure. All right, with that being said, let's wrap this one up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. All right, later.